raised by the Privy Council is untrue in the answer given.
The case brought by social activist Ravi Balgobin Maraj against Petrotrin seeks to overrule the decision of the High Court seeking judicial review of a Freedom of Information request. AG Al-Rawi says Mr. Ramlogan also misled the Privy Council when he implied that the case against Petrotrin and its former chairman Malcolm Jones was authorized by the then People's Partnership Cabinet.
Contrary to Mr. Ramlogan's statements via Mr. Clayton to the Privy Council, there was no cabinet decision to sue Malcolm Jones. That is an untruth. There was no factual matrix other than Anand Ramlogan having advised Petrotrin to take action against Malcolm Jones. That therefore demonstrates that Mr. Ramlogan was completely untruthful to the Privy Council.
Well, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and the director of the Children's Authority, Safia Noel, thinks it's imperative to educate the public on all forms of abuse. During a press conference at the authority's Rights and Road office on Monday, she noted that neglect, sexual and physical abuse are the most reported forms of abuse in this country. However, she said this month, special emphasis will be placed on the prevalence of emotional and psychological abuse and the many ways in which it is manifested.
We have a propensity to use name-calling to denigrate persons and children. Sometimes we call them stupid and worthless or whatless, as we say. Sometimes we negatively compare them to siblings. Why you are not as behaved as your sister. And what we find happening sometimes is that as parents, we often, when we are upset with another partner, when we're in a broken relationship, we say you are like this like your father or like this like your mother, and all of that those are forms of abuse.
She reminded parents that it's their primary responsibility to care for, educate and protect their children. Well, Trinidad and Tobago will have to invest a minimum of $3 billion to make it a competitive player in the technical and vocational realm. The estimation comes from chairman of the MIC Institute, Professor Clement Imber, who made the statement while appearing before a joint select committee of Parliament. He said the figure is a far cry from the kind of investment presently being made.
Korea was our agrarian economy. The phone that you are probably using was made in South Korea. You probably drive a car from them. You probably play music on something from them. They spent several percentage points of their GDP on innovation. In Trinidad and Tobago, we spend a small fraction. You have to put a point and a zero before you could get to a figure.
And as the Ministry of Education prepares to roll out its national education policy, Acting Permanent Secretary Lenore Batiste-Simmons gave the assurance that it will include a more direct focus on innovation.
One of the things we would have done is that we'd have done at least 2 national consultations, which would have weighed heavily with respect to the TVET. So we know that we have included within that those areas. The tertiary and the TVET, we looked at the ECCE, and then we are trying to see how best we can bring it all under the Education Act. So those are areas that are going to, as you said, are going to be prominence-based.
The former West Indies Vice Captain Derek Murray has hailed the appointment of Ricky Skerritt to the post of President of Cricket West Indies, calling it a step in the right direction.
Well, I'm very, very pleased about the change in the leadership of the West Indies Cricket Board. And I think now we look forward to the board being able to function in a way that will enhance the opportunities for cricket to come to the fore, and that our cricket can actually be revitalized.
Murray added that it all took him by a bit of a surprise given the governance structures that exist in Cricket West Indies and the other regional boards. He liked the gesture of reaching out to the former players and even the ones who will have to carry the torch going forward.
You need the current players to be the role models, to be the heroes for the younger ones to look at. So you need to embrace those players and make sure that they come back into the fold. There may not be too many adjustments that you could make in that short space of time, but at least if you start by making sure that your 11 best players are on the field for that, that's a start, and that will be a big fillip for the West Indian public that continues to love the game and support the West Indies cricket team.
And that was News Now on TTT. I'm Stacey Ann Providence. Do have a good morning.
Maximize your impact when you advertise on TTT Live Online. With TTT Live Online, your brand can be seen by viewers in TNT and all around the world via our social media pages. Our audience is growing every day. TTT Live Online has reached over 260,000 followers across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can bet they're watching. Our statistics show the live stream of the Now Morning Show reaches tens of thousands of viewers each day. Our news and entertainment pieces draw hundreds of thousands of views across all platforms. And you have an opportunity to be integrated into or featured alongside all this amazing content. Are you ready to maximize impact? Contact our sales team now. Call 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
I would like to leave this city. This old town don't smell too pretty, and I can feel the warning signs running around my mind. And when I leave this island, I book myself into soul asylum. I can feel the warning.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Rishi Kari.
Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Kari.
It is World
morning,
Autism
Rishi.
Day today, and we're all in our blue this morning.
Yeah,
Good
we're in
morning
a
to you,
bit of
Trinidad
blue
and
here.
Tobago and the universe. Yes.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing this
I am
morning?
great. I'm happy to be back with you all. I was off yesterday.
Yes.
It's been a while since three of us have been here together.
I know. I missed you. I missed the three of us tremendously.
I missed you all too.
Yeah. You know, blue has a very calming effect. It is. It's a good color if you have to communicate, so they say, but it's also a very calming color.
Really?
As well.
Really?
Yeah. You don't
So
find
the
I'm very
psychology.
calm this
Yeah, you are very calm.
How many
this
pieces
morning.
of blue items do you own,
Rishi,
Lisa?
are you outing me this morning?
Me outing people? Never. That is,
Zero.
I'm never in the business.
Thank you so much, Noel. Otherwise, I would not have, and I'd be naked this morning if it wasn't for Noel.
I mean, that would have taken our viewership up a notch.
Probably not.
But I'm surprised that Kari has something blue.
Yes, I have like colors like blue and grey, black, maybe some white in between.
Yeah,
just
nothing purple. And
nothing purple and no pink.
We know.
Yeah.
So,
But I have my blue today. I have my blue, so.
So guys, I
represented.
want to start off the show by saying thank you very much to Chimilk Bakery. You've been very kind to us over the past few days. I think last week was the first week.
Yeah, last week was.
Breakfast every morning. And Rishi,
I had breakfast. I had breakfast last week, and it was pretty good.
I had the saltfish, and so far I've had the hops and saltfish. I've had the cheese and saltfish. And everything tastes so good. So I'm really happy about it.
Fantastic. And I'm glad that they're doing this for us or with us.
Yes.
I mean, it helps me so much because when you come off set, we're hungry.
Yes. And it's not just us, it's for our entire crew. So we really appreciate Chimuk joining with us here on TTT so that we can feed our people, right? Darian and Henry and Marvin, we need to feed our people.
Yeah,
the old people's phrase, empty bags can't stand up. You know the old people's phrase.
Like, if I wasn't getting breakfast, there was a possibility that I may not have been here today. So thank you very much to Chimuk's Bakery for having me in work today.
Well, as we said at the top of the show, today is World Autism Awareness Day, April 2nd. We started the conversation yesterday and we'll be continuing during the course of the month. And then, of course, on the 4th of April, that's on Thursday, I believe. It's SCA. Do you have anyone writing SCA? Or do you know anybody who's writing the SCA exam?
No, no. But I think it's over 15,000 students
usually
writing SCA.
15 to 18,000.
Yeah, yes. So I personally can't say I know anybody.
Yeah, neither can I. But I'm sure if I dig deeply enough, some neighbor or cousin or whoever it is. But you know, we had Keston on yesterday giving some tips as to how to prepare for SCA. But the main thing is really to just support the children, because I think it's so much pressure already to have to prepare for SCA, but you know, it is what it is, and we just want to support the children who've been working so hard over the past few years.
Yeah, and hopefully parents don't put that extra pressure on the children.
Well, the parents go through their own stress as well. You know, some parents get hives, and it's really crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I
mean, this is probably one of the hardest exams that the students would go through. I mean,
well, just the whole idea of it. I think, you know, in some countries they don't have to go through this; it's a natural progression from one stage to the next, and it's really about the learning and not just condensing everything into these 4 years or 3 or 5 years preparing for this one exam that supposedly determines the rest of your life. Oh my goodness, it's just so much pressure.
And that is the thing. People tend to tell children that, you know, you have to go to this school, you have to go to that school, but it's not necessarily so. I've seen people who've went to the junior sec schools and they did really well for themselves.
Yeah, but
so it doesn't matter the school. To me, it is the individual. And if you want to succeed, you can go ahead and do that with, of course, the help from parents.
It is true. That is true. And of course, it is really up to the motivation of the individual. But let's face it, some schools have an advantage in terms of the environment, in terms of the resources and so on, which is why so many parents go after thinking that my child has to go to this school to do well. But I think we should make all our schools A-class schools. And then, you know, everyone will have an equal chance of being successful wherever they go.
Yeah, so that's a good conversation we need to have.
A good conversation for later on. But the conversation also continues. Carrie, why are you so quiet this morning? Just, you know, like watching a tennis match going on, you know.
Back and forth between you and Rishi. You know, I was listening attentively, you know, because I didn't want to weigh in because I was agreeing on both sides.
Look at Rishi.
He's like the referee, you know.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anybody to win.
Well,
but he just wants a good conversation.
It's just a nice conversation we're having this morning.
Definitely.
I trust that we are perking you up this morning as usual. And of course, one of the topics that we have to pay attention to is child abuse, and it's Child Abuse Prevention Month, this month of April. That's another conversation we started yesterday, Rishi.
Yeah, and Carrie and I were talking about that this morning. You know, how do we know where the line is when it comes to abuse and when you disciplining a child? You know, where do we find that line? I mean, different cultures might have different techniques of
that's right.
identifying. I did. Well, I got a lot of licks in primary school. I don't know, like people, like my teachers just like beating me for something. But I was a miserable child. But I've learned from it. I think, well, my grandfather is like a real traditional, old-fashioned kind of guy, right? So you would have to get up early in mornings. He would always say that you have to get up before sunrise. And when you get up, you have something to eat. Then you do your chores. Sometimes he would ask you to go help him out in the garden. And then you will get the little obscene language thrown at you now and then when you don't know what you're supposed to do. But, I mean, some people might look at it and say that was abusive. People now might say that. But to me, it was a way of helping me find myself. And it helped me develop and build character. And to me, that was important. Because if it wasn't for what I went through as a child, I probably would not be here today. But then everybody is different.
Yeah. What about you, Carrie?
I got enough licks for a few generations. So I don't plan on beating my children. You know, I don't think physical abuse is necessary. Physical discipline is necessary. So I don't intend on doing myself. But I got the end of the stick that was hot.
Yeah. I think my mother's generation was the one of deprivation. So it was, if you didn't do what you had to do, you were deprived of certain things. But my grandmother's generation, I think, was more like your grandmother's generation. I got some little licks there. I used to be running all under the bed, kind of thing to hide from licks. But I agree with you. It's a fine line. But I think also in these times, depending on the child, conversation from very, very young in terms of what's right, what's wrong, negotiating, how to really negotiate for what you want. But some parents might say, that is your child. My child needs licks, So it's really a fine line as to what is abuse and what isn't abuse. And that's what the conversation will be about today. We have
I'm
that
looking forward to
on
that.
the program. Yeah. All right. So right now we want to say good morning to those of you looking at us on Facebook and those of you who are listening to us on Talk City 91.1 FM. And if you're in your cars, you're probably wondering what the traffic is like. So here's your traffic update, right?
Today's traffic update is made possible by TrafficTT.com and sponsored by Ultimate Solutions Limited. We make it happen.
And we are in central Trinidad right now at the Monroe Road area there, just on the Royal Butler Highway. And as we can see in the northbound lane, it is sticky already. Very busy morning as a lot of commuters are making their way from south and central Trinidad toward the northern regions of the country. Looking at the southbound lane, we can see that there's a better flow of traffic. Quite a few vehicles heading in that direction as well, but no major congestion at this point in time, so that's good news. Again, taking a peek into the northbound lane, it is moving, but moving quite slowly. So, keep your patience going and keep your mood in check. But we can keep you company until 8 a.m. this morning as you go through the traffic and make your way to work, school, or wherever else you're going this morning. All right, so that's a wrap for this traffic update.
Today's traffic update is made possible by TrafficTT.com and sponsored by Ultimate Solutions Limited. We make it happen.
All right, and busy morning there, Rishi.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about this morning. I saw Bonnet Bigfoot on social media on our Facebook page saying, I'm not abusing, but you're getting a good cocktail if it's warranted.
It's warranted, that's the thing.
And we have the chairman of the Children's Authority in with us this morning, Conf Benjamin. So it's a good conversation to start.
Definitely.
And, let's see where we draw that line. Let's find out where.
Yeah,
and today's Tuesday.
Right.
So we also have Shamla Mirage, the unique brand.
Yeah.
And Lisa is smiling because she's excited.
I love Shamla, everybody loves Shamla. Yeah. I love Shamla. But you were speaking about our guests in studio, and yes, you're right. We already have Dr. Conf Benjamin in studio with us, all lined up. We also have Jimkins Clark and Anthony Commission already in studio. These gentlemen look very stern. They're like, oh, we're here to talk business. Give us a little wave or something. There we go. All right.
They look so excited to be here.
Yes. But they are. Yeah. Off camera, they were very excited. So trust me, they are. And we're very excited to have a conversation with them as well. After this, we'll be back. After this.
I don't know what to do, Mom. He's my children's father, and I really love him, but he only reacts like this when he drinks.
Ma'am, I will ensure that you get all the help that you need.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is devoted to providing assistance to victims of domestic violence. If you're a victim of domestic violence, a report should be made to the police immediately so the matter can be addressed in the most appropriate manner. Domestic violence is very serious. Do not wait until it's too late.
Whether you are on the road or at the beach, preserve our beautiful nation of which we are proud by properly disposing of your waste. Because environmental pride is national pride.
Frontline on Talk City 91.1 FM, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to noon with me, Ria Roop Chansing, an informative and educational show that discusses a variety of topics, from social issues to the law, from education to religion, culture, health, beauty, and your well-being, And you also have a chance to voice your opinion in Frontline's Open Forum. Frontline, 8 a.m. to noon every Monday to Friday with me, Ria Roopchansing, on Talk City 91.
Stay connected with what's happening in the region and Latin America and view Caribbean Newsline weeknights at 10 p.m. followed by news from the South at 10:30 p.m. on TTT.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Now Morning Show here on TTT. We are also live on Talk City 91.1 FM and on Facebook at TTT Live Online. You can also check out our YouTube page, TTT Live Online, to keep up to date with everything that is happening here on the Now Morning Show. And before the break, we were having an interesting conversation about Child Abuse Prevention Month. I'm going to be chatting with Hanif Benjamin, who is the chairman of the Children's Authority, to, find out where that line is between abuse and disciplining a child, and also to find out a little bit about what the Children's Authority is doing. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Of course, the month of April has been dubbed the Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. And it is important for us at the Children's Authority because, as you know, we are charged with the mandate of that of care and protection of all children in Trinidad and Tobago. And so this month, we are really amping up what we have been doing throughout the years, which is really bringing awareness to Trinidad and Tobago on the different types of abuse. In particular, this month we want to focus on emotional abuse, and I think it's one of those abuses that we seldom pay attention to. I mean, we pay attention to the physical abuse, the sexual abuse, but we really don't pay attention to the emotional abuse. And so the theme for this month is strong and thriving families, and we want to be able to create strong and thriving families through our awareness and getting Trinidad and Tobago to understand what is abuse and, of course, emotional abuse.
So what is abuse then? How do we define abuse?
Abuse is an act that is perpetrated against a child that is not in the best interest of a child, where you are using forms, whether it is physical, sexual, emotional, whatever it is, to hurt a child or to abuse a child in that sense. And that is a basic definition of what it is. And we need people to understand that, because I know the conversation that you were having is really, when does one move from discipline to abuse? And it is very simple. Discipline is meant to teach. Abuse is not. And a lot of times when we get into the act of disciplining without proper guidance, it crosses the threshold into abuse. And that is what we want people to understand, that you have a right to discipline your child, but you also have a right to understand what is abuse and when you are crossing over into that threshold.
But some people will say, this is my child, and this is how I see best fit to discipline that child.
You are quite right.
A lash or something.
Well, you are quite right, and the law provides for that, for parent and or guardian. In the Children's Act, speaks to the use of reasonable measures to discipline a child. But at the Children's Authority, and part of our advocacy is, let us find alternative means. Let us find a way where we can teach our children, guide our children, because to be quite frank with you, children do what they learn, what they see, and so it is important for us to help them, to be able to make the right decisions. So for this month, Rishi, we really want to be able to go out to the what we call the nook and cranny of Trinidad and Tobago to really bring the information. And we're excited because we are partnering with Fusion Sports, that adventure that has a fan base of over 40,000 persons throughout the Caribbean. And we're really going to be using them as the tool, because we want to go outside of the box to really get people to understand the messaging of what is child abuse.
Yeah, and you talk about the theme being getting strong and thriving families.
Correct.
How do you plan to do that, sir?
Well, definitely by giving families alternative measures, by helping them to understand, especially emotional abuse. And, you know, we grow up with hearing you're stupid, you're dotish, you're this, you're that, you know, and people don't understand the lifelong impact. I heard you said I came out fine, but when we really sit and we analyze the things that were said to us as children, whether or not it resonated with us throughout life, whether or not it changed our perspective on life. And so we want people to understand that emotional abuse is serious. And we want families to understand that you can damage children by what you use in terms of your speech and what you say to children.
And I'm glad that Lisa is joining in on this conversation.
Because I feel very strongly about emotional or verbal abuse, because sometimes it manifests itself so much later on in life, and people take that into the workplace or into their relationships, and then they themselves become emotionally abusive to others around them. So the cycle continues.
I agree with you 100%. And I think you just hit it on the head, because people don't understand that emotional, psychological abuse is a silent abuse.
Yeah.
And that reverberates in life.
And people become so fearful, you know, in their workplace, in their relationships, without even realizing that it is really. And, you know, I did a documentary a while ago on violence against women and girls. And one of the speakers was saying that emotional abuse is perhaps probably one of the worst forms of abuse, because it's silent, as you said.
Let me tell you something, Lisa. I tell people, I am not concerned about the broken rib or the black eye. I have gone past that. I have said to people, long before you are physically broken, your mind has been broken. And that is why we have the cycle and the battered woman syndrome. Your mind has been broken through emotional abuse. And if we teach our children from now to recognize it, if we avoid it, we create stronger minds.
Absolutely.
We create stronger families. We create stronger society.
You know, this takes us into the conversation about mental health now, which people look at and say, you know, get over it, you know, what's wrong with you, without realizing how deep-seated mental health can be. So I was listening to the BBC last year or year before when Robin Williams committed suicide, right? I think they spent an entire year digging deeply into the whole issue of mental health. And they were saying if you have cancer or so, stage 4, you will die. You know, any sort of disease, when it gets to a certain level without being treated, you die. If you have a mental health issue or you're suffering from depression, and someone ends up committing suicide, that's the end result.
Correct.
So it is.
It's real.
It's a very real issue.
And so the Children's Authority through this month will really be going to the media houses, to the communities, and really partnering with Fusion Adventure so that we can take the messaging to the common man on the street, so that they too can understand their role, their responsibility as it relates to emotional abuse more so, but all types of abuse, and how we can prevent that type of abuse on our children and families.
What is the contact number for the authority?
Well, you can call us at 996, that's our emergency hotline, or 800-2014, of course.
And to get more information
on
that, Lisa.
See, I get fiery there.
Yeah, Lisa, but it's a really good conversation to have.
And it's continued for the rest of the month. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me,
Mr. Hanif Benjamin.
Coming back.
And we will definitely have the Children's Authority to talk a little bit more about that. But for now, we take in your local weather forecast with Ian Wallace.
We continue the month of April with still showers, a few and far between. So you'll start our morning with some sunshine across Tobago, but that will quickly disappear to some cloudiness as you go through the latter half of the day. There's possibility of some of those showers drifting down from Grenada and coming into Tobago by the end of the evening. Meanwhile, for central and southern areas of Trinidad, a mostly sunny start here. Across the northern range, you will see the usual shower during the first part of your day. A bit of sunshine as you go through much of the day, and then the cloudiness will build, especially from Turco towards late evening. Down towards San Fernando and Pinal, only intermittent clouds expected. Therefore, it should be mostly sunny for the most part as you head down towards Point Fortin and Caracas. Temperature-wise, we're looking at another warm day, 32 degrees Celsius likely in Trinidad, topping 33 near Port of Spain and around 30, 31 across Tobago. Now, it seems as though through Wednesday we'll see a lot more cloudiness for Tobago, some welcome showers expected here. That's all courtesy of that moisture drifting south from Grenada. That moisture will also be affecting Trinidad through Wednesday, so generally cloudy skies, showers coming through from time to time, maybe some spells of rain as well. Now, heading offshore through Tuesday, northeasterly winds of 20 knots will bring some whitecaps and sea spray, but mainly slight seas for now in the Atlantic at 1.5 meters, but that will gradually push to closer to 2.5 meters by the time we get to late on Thursday. Now, for those heading out, we do have your alert at 8:45 a.m. So that's your weather, and that's it from me.
Thank you very much, Ian Wallace. There could be some job cuts at the MIT Institute of Technology due to funding challenges. Chairman of the President Ingrid said government subvention has sustained at 50% in the last 3 years. This as he reflected on the number of trainees at the institution, which is now 1,900, much fewer than before. MIC is also said to be paying $7,000 a week on security. A Paria fuel trading company has been made aware of the abnormal high scent of sulfur emanating from the fuel pump. The Chief Executive Officer of National Petroleum is today quoted as saying there is a more than normal high scent of sulfur in the fuel. Since Paria started importing fuel, they would have gone to different providers for the fuel. However, the chairman was not able to say who the provider in this case may be. Well, a lease for a fast ferry from Malta is now before the cabinet. The ferry is expected to ease the seabridge woes. Chairman of NIDCO, Herbert George, said the company had recommended the temporary lease of a 10-year-old vessel called the Ja de la Vallée. And that was news now on TTT. Well, a lot in store for you, including Unique Not Different after the break. Stay with us.
Good day, sir. Are you aware that you have committed several traffic violations in the last 30 seconds? What were you doing on the shoulder? To top it off, you exceeded the speed limit, you ran the red light, and you endangered the lives of others. Road safety is no child's play. Driver's permit and insurance.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who really cares?
Who cares? I care, because I know that tobacco use is the single largest preventable cause of cancer-related deaths worldwide. Smoking cigarettes has been found to harm almost every organ and organ system in your body. You can do something about that. Don't smoke. If you do, stop. I care because cancer doesn't.
On any given day, at any given time,
you can have your say on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Call in, text in, send us an email. All our shows are fully interactive.
Whether we're talking politics, sports,
current affairs, social issues,
culture, and the arts, stay in the know with our daily news bulletin and breaking news updates.
We're committed to keeping you informed about the world around you.
And yes, we entertain you too with the best Kaiso, steel pan, and local and regional music. We are your address for talk. Talk City 91.1 FM and TalkCity91FM.com.
One of our most popular segments is Unique Not Different by Shamla Maraj. Good morning, Shamla.
Good morning. How are you?
Good to have you on this morning. And
Thank
you
you.
gave me this T-shirt.
Yes, I want to say thank you, Rowan's mom, Deborah.
Yeah.
She brought that in as soon as she came in and presented it to me and told me, they printed it last night for me and told me I'm one of their heroes and they could say it's a Marvel themed T-shirt, and I just want to say thank you, Deborah.
Because you're marvelous, right?
You said it. I didn't say it.
And tell me who's your guest this morning. I love the fact that he's wearing a QRC Scout uniform. I had one of those at one time. You know that? I was a member of the QRC band. I used to play the saxophone and the clarinet. And you have a trombone in front of you. I'm so
relate to him
I
then.
can totally relate. I can totally relate.
That explains the band tunes.
Ah, yes, I was asking him if he can play QRC, right? One of the QRC songs.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to leave you to chat with your guest.
Yes.
And we'll check you in later.
Thank you.
All right.
Morning, guys, and welcome to Unique Not Different. Well, as you know, this month is Autism Awareness Month. And I'm so excited because I have an example. I think his mom and him could write a book and put it forward as a model for all other parents, you know, to allow their children to reach their full potential, whether autistic or not. And I have with me Ron McEwen. Good. They had told me this before. At least he corrected me. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
You're fine? Well, I just want to know a little about your story, because your story is so, you know, tremendous in terms of where you started and where you are now. You was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3.
Yeah.
Right. And when your mom found out that, you know, she had a son with autism, what transformed you into being a young boy, young toddler, you could say, that is autistic, and being where you are now?
Probably persistence.
Persistence?
A lot of persistence.
Mm-hmm. And your mom took you to a lot of occupational therapy.
Yeah.
That's so. And she did a lot of chat work with you. What was the chat like?
The chat was pretty much like, you know, kind of like a checklist of things I had to get done in the morning, because I like always forget what I had to do. And to be honest, looking back on it, I really don't know how it happened. It's like, how did this happen? How do I just remember stuff?
Well, I guess, as you said, persistence. You know, so you started, what primary school you attended?
I attended multiple primary schools, actually.
Okay, multiple. How come? Why multiple?
Because my dad at the time was a geophysicist, so in his business, the business he was working for, Schlumberger, / Western Geco, was constantly moving around the place.
Oh, but what was that transition like for you, being a little boy with autism, having to move and then constantly move and having to make new friends, etc.? What was it like making new friends?
Well, making new friends was kind of easy, but I just didn't know how it was supposed to work.
Okay. And
it's weird.
Well, your mom spoke about communication a lot in terms of interacting with, you know, she never allowed you to remain home. She always took you out, allowed you to interact with people. And have you ever gotten negative comments, meaning in terms of being who you are? Because you didn't allow autism to define you, but autism still, you know, it's part of you, right? Yeah. Were you ever bullied for being autistic?
Kind of, a little bit of small talk from or care in there.
And how you dealt with that?
That's for being autistic. If you're talking about bullying in general, then yeesh.
Okay. And you know, okay. So in terms of you write, you wrote SCA.
Yeah.
Right? And SCA is only, what, 3 days away? What advice would you give to young individuals who are about to write the SCA exam?
Put in the time.
Simple.
Put in the time. You see, when I was preparing for SCA, I did 5 Pinnacles a day.
Pinnacles?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, Pinnacle has a website now. Shout out.
Oh, okay. You're teaching me things, boy. I will go and look that up. Okay.
Yeah, it's at, I think it was sca.pinnacle.com.
Okay, and you know what, a prestigious secondary school, QRC.
Yep.
How is that experience for you?
I have to see. If it was any other school, QRC is awesome. I mean, seriously, some of the teachers there are amazing, supportive.
That is excellent. That is so excellent. And you recently went on a hike.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a venture scout.
Oh, you're a venture scout, and you do art, etc. A composer, a writer.
Yeah.
Right.
I compose, and I do art, but I don't really I don't really follow it as like a career. It's just like a thing I do in my spare time.
Right, and I just have one more thing before I ask you to perform. You mentioned to me that, you know, sometimes you have things going through your mind, right, that have you feeling a bit down. And I asked you what you do to overcome that. And what was your response to me?
I always look at the glass as half full rather than half empty.
Very good.
But you just can't get over a big mental obstacle without help.
Exactly. You have to speak to people and let them know. And I always say, don't allow anyone to define who you are.
Yeah.
You are you, and you define your own self and be who you are. Don't let anyone judge you or keep you down. And with that, I want to say, closing off, I would allow Rowan to perform the Pink Panther team. And I just want to say my goodbye now. So be good, do good. On to Rowan. You can play.
Yeah, sit in the edge of your chair for this. Stand up.
Oh, that's absolutely. And by the way, if people didn't get it, that was Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know stuff, you know, I know stuff. That was really, really fantastic. Thank you so very much for coming on this morning, Shamla. Another fantastic segment. Thank you very much once again as we continue to raise awareness.
Yes.
What is your message for Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, put on the spot. I would just like to tell Trinidad and Tobago, you know, just keep pushing and do your part to do good and hopefully and position yourself in such a way that, you know, allow opportunity embrace that opportunity and be respectful, be mindful, and it will deter domino effect to all of Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, thank you very much, Shamla Maraj, and that was Unique, Not Different. All right, so absolutely fantastic there as we continue to raise awareness for autism here on the Now Morning Show. But we want to switch conversations a little bit now and talk about the plight of COSTAT teachers. Teachers at COSTAT, they have not gotten a salary increase since 2012. The Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association is trying to have or to get representation for those lecturers there. I'm going to chat with Justin De Freitas, who is the Industrial Relations Officer for Tutor. Good morning and welcome.
Morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, Tutor is wanting to represent COSTAT lecturers.
Yeah.
How is that going? Where are you all with that process?
Well, we applied for recognition, and the recognition was disallowed on the grounds that lecturers, like teachers, are not considered workers under the Industrial Relations Act.
Mm-hmm.
And the Industrial Relations Act is for workers. So the process of recognition is not recognized for teachers and lecturers at the universities, police officers, and so on.
Yeah. But from what I understand, there are COSTAT lecturers who are members of Tutor.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, we have about 80% of the members of the lecturers, they are members of Tutor. We can recognize them on rights issues. We can represent them if there are issues with non-payment of salaries, non-payment, failure to deal with their terms and conditions of service. We can deal with those. What we cannot do is collectively bargain for them.
So that is the aim of Tutor right now?
That's what recognition gives you, the right to collectively bargain for the terms and conditions of the workers.
So they have not gotten salary increases since 2012.
That's correct.
And we're in 2019.
Yep.
How long do you think this process would take? Because I know you all are lobbying the 41 MPs to have the act amended.
We are hoping that the legal agenda of the government will include changing the education, the COSTAT Act to include recognition for the lecturers. That's what was done for teachers back in 1980. They had to change the Education Act to include the process of recognition so that Tutor could become the recognized majority union for teachers. And it's the same thing that has to be done for the COSTAT lecturers.
But how long do you think the process would take? How long? Because the lecturers from 2012 to 2019, that's a long period of time.
Yeah, it is. And we are hoping that it will be put on the agenda this year. Once the act is changed, then of course we can get recognition.
Did you all have any conversations with the Minister of Labour on this?
We spoke with the Minister of Education. Because, as you know, Mr. Garcia was once the president of Tutor.
Yes.
And he was the president that saw Tutor get recognition. So he understands exactly what is needed. And we are hopeful that he would make the representation that is necessary at the level of the cabinet. So they will understand exactly why that is so important.
But with the Minister of Education making that, how often do you keep in contact with the Minister to say, well, Minister, this is what we need to do and this is the time that we're looking at because these teachers need representation?
Generally, we meet with the Minister fairly regularly, at least once a term, right? And the agenda always includes the COSTAT lecturers, early childhood educators, and other issues affecting the education sector.
Right.
So we meet with the Minister regularly. Our President is a phone call away from the Minister. The Minister always makes himself available to our President, and our President does the same for him. So it's really good collaboration, and we are hopeful that with that we would see some quick movement with this change in legislation.
As it relates to layoff of workers, I know that a lot of organizations are sending home workers. UTT, for example, some workers are expected to go home in the near future. What is the union Tutor saying about that? Any word of anything like that may happen at COSTAT?
Well, what we are hearing at COSTAT is that COSTAT is trying to rebrand and try to do things differently so that they could attract more students. Tutor is a very progressive institution, a very progressive organization. And that's why we feel that with recognition, or even without, we are willing to sit with the COSTAT board, for example, to come up with ideas as how COSTAT might become more attractive to young people. Right? We have some ideas. A lot of people don't know, but tutor makes a lot of input with the Ministry of Education with regard to education in Trinidad and Tobago, because that is one of the aims of tutor, the promotion of education. So we are constantly doing position papers and submitting it to the ministry, meeting with the permanent secretary, making recommendations as to how the education sector can be improved.
Tell me something. How many lecturers at COSTAT are looking to be represented for the collective bargaining?
Well, COSTAT has about 124, 25 lecturers, and we have as members 87.
87.
Right? Now, the way this recognition goes, once you have 50% plus one, you can apply for recognition for everybody. So whether they are members or not, once we get recognition, then we can collectively bargain for their terms and conditions, and it will impact on everybody.
Yeah, so I want to wish you all the very best in this venture, Mr. Justin De Freitas, International Industrial Relations Officer at Tutor, and hopefully you can update us as to the progress of this initiative. All right, so let's change the conversation again. We are going to talk about the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries and some of what they have coming up. I have with me two gentlemen to talk about, well, there is the plant torch activity and the tree planting ceremony. Those two events are coming up. There is a 5K event, so a lot to look forward to. Mr. Ruben Robertson, FAO representative for Trinidad and Tobago, Suriname, and Michael Reed, member of the World Food Day National Committee of Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
First of all, let's talk about the plant torch activity and the tree planting ceremony and the importance and significance of this.
Okay, the plant torch is it's part of the Run for Food event. It was styled after the Olympic torch. We use the imagery of the Olympic torch, where a plant is passed from school to school. We have 8 schools that participated, and just as the Olympic torch would not go out, we hope that as the plant goes from school to school, it wouldn't die.
So I mean, that's a lot of schools to go through.
Yeah, it will spend 1 week at each school. So we started, and actually tomorrow is the day we are going to actually take that plant and plant it in the botanic gardens.
What type of plant is it?
This year we have the sugar apple plant.
The sugar apple.
Yeah.
What is the local name for that?
Sugar apple.
I'm sure that there is a different name for that.
Yes, will be a scientific name.
Belongs to the Annona species.
The what?
Annona.
What is that?
It's basically a sweet fruit with white pulp, black seeds, like the soursop and those kind of families.
You know, I'm picturing it in my head. I'm picturing it. Hopefully next somebody would send me one so that I would get to taste. I can't remember ever having one of those.
Yes,
but how the initiative? So the tree is going to be planted tomorrow at the Botanic Garden.
Yes.
How many schools did it pass through?
8 schools. In previous years we just had primary schools, and this is the first year that we had a secondary school join in.
So that would have been 8 weeks.
Yes.
Any plans to have it go longer to different schools?
No,
or have a different plant?
Every year we have a different plant.
Okay.
So we've had the penny piece. Okay. We've had the tamarind.
I know that.
Yes. We had balata before. So this year is soursop, and next year we'll choose another fruit.
Right. So a lot of fruits, and so you plant that one tree.
Yes.
Every year, so that's one tree that you plant. How long has this initiative been going on?
Since 2016.
2016. So this is its 3rd year. Yeah. And for the that takes into consideration the tree planting ceremony.
Yes.
Right. And then there is the 5K event, which is carded for Saturday, April 6th, 2019.
Yes. Well.
Okay. The 5K event, as I said, it started with. It's using the imagery of the Olympics. So the 5K would be the culmination of it. It's not just a 5K. We also have a farmers market that begins at 1 o'clock. and there would be fun activities, and there would be an aerobic burnout at the end.
And what time does this start?
The warm-up is from 3:30, and the race starts at 4.
And that is Saturday, the 6th of April, 2019, at the Queen's Park, Savannah. All of this is part of food security.
Food security.
The importance of it in Trinidad and Tobago, we talk about it all the time. From where you sit, how do you see this initiative or these initiatives helping Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, it's very important because the message that we want to bring is that food security for Trinidad and Tobago is key. Trinidad imports a lot of food that are high in fats, high in sugars, create a lot of problems of obesity and overweight, which is really adding to the incidences of NCDs. And so producing local food and ensuring that the local populace eat healthy is one of FAO's mandate, and we are partnering with all the different agencies.
Do people listen to these messages, though, because they still go out and buy all of these fatty foods?
Well, it calls for education, and it calls for a lot of promotion, a lot of government good public policies, and a number of agencies working together. One has to recognize, too, that a lot of the imported food are much cheaper than what is produced locally, not necessarily healthier. And therefore, it is the responsibility of all of us to be able to advise, educate, that there is need for that shift in paradigm in terms of our consumption patterns, because our palate has grown for these imported foods, which are really not healthy for our diets. And therefore, activities like what we are promoting now, what we are using to not only get to the young persons, but to the entire population, that there is need for joint action on these initiatives.
And from the Ministry of Agriculture, there are initiatives that they would have been engaged in.
Yes, and the World Food Day Committee also would have engaged in a number of activities that would be in like public awareness. We target the children because we know that when we get the children, this generation, we can develop and have the message out there.
Yeah, and then primary schools, secondary schools need to get involved in this as well. Mr. Ruben Robertson, FAO representative for Trinidad and Tobago, Suriname. Mr. Michael Reed, member World Food Day National Committee of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you all very much for coming on and sharing this information with us. Remember, Run for Food 5K event carded for Saturday, April 6th, 2019 at the Queen's Park, Savannah in Port of Spain. It starts around 1 o'clock. And also tomorrow is the tree planting ceremony, which is carded for Botanic Gardens.
Yes.
What time?
From 9 a.m.
From 9 a.m. So people can come check it out?
No, it'll be something for invitation only. But we will.
And hopefully Lisa gets an invitation and she can have a plus one.
Is this for the 5K run? Because anything.
The 5K is Saturday. Tomorrow they're going to plan
Saturday,
the tree.
and tomorrow is the deadline for registration for the 5K.
How can you participate if you want to register? Where do you go to register for the 5K?
You can register online. Well, from tomorrow you'll be able to register at some Massey food stores. Because it's a partnership with Massey.
All right. So we have to leave it there now, Lisa. But we'll have more on this sometime before the end of the week. We have to go to news now.
My human form. A beautiful woman. Right? You can have a real good time with some fun. You don't always be signing up singing and be like, yo, save the environment. Be there, people drinking, people having a real good time, people, they organizing themselves and feeling good about what they're doing. But at the same time, very conscious that, we're not using styrofoam cups here because this, we're not using plastics here because of that, whatever. And you can have a real good time. A real good time and enjoy yourself. I'm Mohammed. Lead singer of Freetown, and we will be there for New Fire 2019. And one of the reasons we're excited is because we feel as though New Fire represents something that is us. A lot of times these festivals come around and it's promoters who already represent what we feel personally, our responsibility to the environment and to the nation as a whole. We're looking forward to New Fire Festival 2019. Tell everybody. With my worries, if you're looking for me, then I'm sorry. I'll be gone in the morning. I know that I'm calling is fire, fire.
Good morning, I'm Stacey Ann Providence and this is News Now on TTT. Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi says he intends to write to the Privy Council about the appearance of his predecessor, Anand Ramlogan, at the Privy Council in a matter against Petrotrin. The Privy Council has expressed an element of discomfort over the appearance of Anand Ramlogan in a matter against Petrotrin, which was initiated while he was the Attorney General. Mr. Ramlogan, along with Queen's Counsel Richard Clayton and others, appeared before the Privy Council on March 20th. AG Al-Rawi says during the sitting, Mr. Ramlogan told blatant untruths.
Mr. Ramlogan, in the presence of the full committee of the Privy Council, should never have told the court that he stopped being the Attorney General in January 2014. That is untrue. It is false. Secondly, Mr. Ramlogan's position, as raised by the Privy Council, is untrue in the answer given.
The case brought by social activist Ravi Bhargobin Maharaj against Petrotrin seeks to overrule the decision of the High Court seeking judicial review of a Freedom of Information request. AG Al-Rawi says Mr. Ramlogan also misled the Privy Council when he implied that the case against Petrotrin and its former chairman Malcolm Jones was authorized by the then People's Partnership Cabinet.
Contrary to Mr. Ramlogan's statements via Mr. Clayton to the Privy Council, there was no cabinet decision to sue Malcolm Jones. That is an untruth. There was no factual matrix other than Anand Ramlogan having advised Petrotrin to take action against Malcolm Jones. That therefore demonstrates that Mr. Ramlogan was completely untruthful to the Privy Council.
Well, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and the director of the Children's Authority, Safiya Noel, thinks it's imperative to educate the public on all forms of abuse. During a press conference at the authority's Rights and Road office on Monday, she noted that neglect, sexual and physical abuse are the most reported forms of abuse in this country. However, she said this month, special emphasis will be placed on the prevalence of emotional and psychological abuse and the many ways in which it is manifested.
We have a propensity to use name-calling to denigrate persons and children. Sometimes we call them stupid and worthless or whatless, as we say. Sometimes we negatively compare them to siblings. Why you are not as behaved as your sister. And what we find happening sometimes is that as parents, we often, when we are upset with another partner, when in a broken relationship, we say you are like this like your father or like this like your mother. And all of that those are forms of abuse.
She reminded parents that it's their primary responsibility to care for, educate and protect their children. Well, Trinidad and Tobago will have to invest a minimum of $3 billion to make it a competitive player in the technical and vocational realm. The estimation comes from Chairman of the MIC Institute, Professor Clement Imber, who made the statement while appearing before a Joint Select Committee of Parliament. He said the figure is a far cry from the kind of investment presently being made.
Korea was an agrarian economy. The phone that you were probably using was made in South Korea. You probably drive a car from them. You probably play music on something from them. They spent several percentage points of their GDP on innovation. In Trinidad and Tobago, we spend a small fraction. You have to put a point and a zero before you could get to a figure.
And as the Ministry of Education prepares to roll out its national education policy, Acting Permanent Secretary Lenore Batiste-Simmons gave the assurance that it will include a more direct focus on innovation.
One of the things we would have done is that we'd have done at least 2 national consultations, which would have weighed heavily with respect to the TVET. So we know that we have included within that those areas. The tertiary and the TVET, we looked at the ECCE, and then we are trying to see how best we can bring it all under the Education Act. So those are areas that are going to, as you said, are going to be prominence-based.
The former West Indies Vice Captain Derek Murray has hailed the appointment of Ricky Skerritt to the post of President of Cricket West Indies, calling it a step in the right direction.
Well, I'm very, very pleased about the change in the leadership of the West Indies Cricket Board.
And I think now we look forward to the board being able to function in a way that will enhance the opportunities for cricket to come to the fore, and that our cricket can actually be revitalized.
Murray added that it all took him by a bit of a surprise given the governance structures that exist in Cricket West Indies and the other regional boards. He liked the gesture of reaching out to the former players and even the ones who will have to carry the torch going forward.
You need the current players to be the role models, to be the heroes for the younger ones to look at. So you need to embrace those players and make sure that they come back into the fold. There may not be too many adjustments that you could make in that short space of time, but at least if you start by making sure that your 11 best players are on the field for that, that's a start, and that will be a big fillip for the West Indian public that continues to love the game and support the West Indies cricket team.
And that was News Now on TTT. I'm Stacey Ann Providence. Do have a good morning.
What will you do if I told you that there's a tool to help your child successfully complete the SEA exams? It can reduce his stress and anxiety during this difficult period, increase her chance of getting higher grades, and boost his self-confidence. What will you do? This tool can help your child think logically during math exams, master word problems, angles, equations, measurement, fractions, decimals, and percentages. Write creative and captivating essays. Construct and structure correct answers to comprehension questions. Use adjectives, verbs, adverbs, nouns, pronouns, conjunctions, comparatives, superlatives. What would you do? Well, get the highly effective JJ and Friends SEA Suite, and as a bonus, receive a free Amazon Kindle Fire 7 tablet. Call now 7464-SEA. That's 7464-4732. Stocks are limited, so call now.
Welcome back. This is Now. I'm Lisa alongside Rishi and Carrie with you for this second hour, and we're having a great time here in studio. So much information. I really enjoyed that interview with Shamla and Rowan. And Rishi, what are you doing?
I am Googling people.
What?
I'm Googling people.
Oh, okay.
I'm Googling Winston Duke.
Oh.
Right now.
Oh.
Apparently, he was on stage at the
NAACP.
NAACP.
That's right, NAACP Awards this weekend.
And with this Trinidad flag, so I'm Googling.
There he is.
Yeah.
Because he was nominated for Outstanding Breakthrough and Supporting Actor. 2 nominations there, and of course when he got on stage, he had, I don't know where he had that Trinidad to be.
I don't know if it was in his pocket.
Yeah, just put it out. So good on him.
I mean, I was so proud just now when I saw the video, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I know he's been, making waves across there. And good morning to Cindy Duke, Dr. Cindy Duke, who we had on TNT Talent Abroad, and to Mama Coco. That's his mommy. She has her own social media following. So good morning to Mama Coco as well. Cora Panting there, who's his mommy. And Carrie. Also today, it's World Autism Awareness Day, April 2nd. We're all in blue.
Yes, we're all in blue. We're all wearing all blue, open it up like Superman.
Helping to bring awareness. And Rowan, our guest on Unique Not Different, doing
amazing. I was having a chat with him and his mom outside during the break, and she was saying that last night he was so nervous before the show. Oh. And so she was trying to comfort him and say it'll be okay. It's not live.
It's not live.
Oh, mommy!
Try to keep him calm. And then when they came through this door,
she opened up and she saw just all the cameras, and she was the one ready to pass out. But then he just had a feeling of calm over him, and he was fine.
I mean, we're nice people to be around here. I mean, when people see us, they're like, oh, cool, you know, I could be with them on set. They're nice people.
You know, Rishi always makes it about him.
No, I made it about us. I made it about us.
All right, Rishi. All right, so let's move on to SEA.
SEA is this
Thursday. So, you know, all success to, you know, after SEA, people head down to a certain Cinemaplex, you know, and then just converge on it. Yeah, so SEA, all the children who are preparing, our thoughts and prayers are with you, and all success, okay? And right now, those of you who are on the roadways, you're probably wondering what it's like, so here's our traffic report.
Today's traffic update is made possible by TrafficTT.com and sponsored by Ultimate Solutions Limited. We make it happen.
Alright, and we're in Shaft Play right now, as we can see vehicles coming from the Eastern Main Road onto that extension to the Uriah Butler Highway, heading southbound there. It's a nice flow of traffic, very smooth, nothing much to worry about, as we see vehicles converging from the main road there. Looking across onto the priority bus route in both directions, it seems that there's not much action, but of course, the traffic light is stopped right now. But we would expect that there would be some movement toward the west. Looking across on the other side, we can see that there's not much movement toward the Eastern Main Road at this point in time as vehicles make their way. But as we can see now, there are those heading into Port of Spain and heading toward the east as well. And remember, you can take us with you at Talk City 91.1 FM. We can keep you company in the traffic and for the rest of the morning, well, at least until 8 o'clock. All right, and that's a wrap for this traffic update.
Today's traffic update is made possible by TrafficTT.com and sponsored by Ultimate Solutions Limited. We make it happen.
Still in studio with us, we have Jimkins Clark and Anthony Commission still coming up next. And they are coming up very soon. And then, of course, we have the Children's Caravan, NGC's Children's Brokers Lit Fest, Kimberly D'Souza and Joan Osborne already in studio. And we're going to be chatting with them after the break. But right now, we're going to cross over to our sister station, Sweet 100 FM. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lisa. How are you?
How you doing, Mark? Like you're in a kind of mellow mood this morning?
Yeah, well, you know, just sometimes it is. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Mark, I feel I have to run across in the studio and give you a big bear hug, you know. What's going on?
I welcome that.
Mark, you look depressed.
Mark, what's going on?
Good morning, my friend. How are you, sir?
I see you look quite blue.
Well, it's World Autism Awareness Day. That's why we're all in blue, Mark.
Well, I have my blue pen. I have my blue watch. I have my blue bottle. And my blue bottle. They're all blue.
And you're sounding blue as well, you know. I need to run over.
I'm not blue. I'm not
Can I, you guys talk to Mark. I'm going to run across in the studio and give him a hug.
Really
okay, you do that. I'm going to run across and give Mark a big hug.
I want to also let you guys know that
Mark, she's really coming, you know.
We welcome Lisa. But guys, you know, also next week, Wednesday, we have the Wednesday Love concert at Fiesta Plaza Movie Town. So we want to make sure that everyone is going to come down, and we're extending that love to, you know, make sure that my boy, my soul partner on set, you know,
me.
Of course, you do.
The other soul partner.
My other soul partner.
Listen, I'm the original. I'm the original.
I know. We like that.
I hope so. Because remember, I was there when they had the last event.
You made the last appearance.
I need to make the next one.
So Carrie is owing us right now. So maybe we might get an appearance from both you and Carrie.
Remember last time I was there, I was dancing for people to see?
No, you weren't dancing. She's really here, you know, guys.
What you mean?
I need to give Mark a
I'm taking that. If I could only spend it too, you know. But you know, it's great to see you this morning. Yeah. You know, especially this side. Maybe how will Lisa look in the chair? You know, let's switch.
Let's switch.
You know, you take a chair.
And what do I say?
You know, whatever you want to say.
Speak to the listeners.
Good morning, Sweet 100 listeners. It's so good to have you with us here on Sweet 100 as well as on Now.
I don't think I'm allowed to say what I really want to say about that tone, Lisa. Mark.
You see, that's modern radio and TV now. See what's going on?
Mark, I think you're almost out, you know. I think Lisa will take your job just now.
Oh, well, boy. We leave it to the best. But guys, I want to thank you very much. Don't forget, next week, Wednesday, we start at 6 p.m. And Rishi, you know Rishi, you were there the last time.
A day.
Rishi, you were there the last time.
You know how we say it a day.
I will be there. I will be there, my friend. I say it, today's what? Today's the 2nd of April, 2019.
So Thursday, I'm going to give you guys some more info.
Yes, and we look forward to that. Carrie, Trinis, we say a day.
All right.
Yeah, I will certainly be there.
All right, Carrie.
Thank you very much, Mark Anthony.
Yeah, what's that? Sorry?
Well, I'm holding you to that.
No, you should. Yes, I'll be there.
All right, then, buddy. You guys take care, and thank you very much, Lisa, also. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mark. So we'll chat with Mark a little bit more on Thursday, Carrie, but for now,
definitely.
we have to take a break.
All right, we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back. This is an all-morning show. Stay with us.
Every day we aspire to be better at what we do. Deliver more news, more often, to more people. We are your news team. Reporting on the people, events, and issues that affect your life. TTT News. Connect.
Every weekday from 4 to 7 p.m., tune in to Straight Talk with me, Jude, as I tackle the tough issues affecting our society head-on. You know how we like to get a bit politically correct when it comes to things like race, religion, sexuality, the touchy topics. So let's get some honest, straightforward, and rational discussion going so we can find some common ground on the issues that divide us the most. Straight Talk right here on Talk City 91.1 FM every weekday from 4 to 7 p.m.
According to the Children Act, Chapter 12 of 2012, any person who causes a child under the age of 16 years to view any lewd or pornographic material commits an offense and can be sentenced to a maximum of 10 years in prison. Stop child abuse. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news. News in real time. News across Trinidad and Tobago. Wherever you are. TTT News. Connect.
Whether you are on the road or at the beach, preserve our beautiful nation of which we are proud by properly disposing of your waste. Because environmental pride is national pride.
We're back, everybody. This is an all-morning show right here on TTT, also on Talk City 91.1 FM, TTT Live Online, and on Facebook and YouTube at TTT Live Online. And now we're going to talk about the Southern Games. Now, the Southern Games has been in existence, and this will be the 55th year, so it's a long history. And with me this morning to speak about that is Jimmins Clark and Anthony Comisian. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks to be here.
All right, so 55 years, that's a long time in operation. Tell me a little bit about the history.
Well, Southern Games the main Southern Games started in 1938. 1937, not sure, 2 years. It was a game that the Liso company, the oil company, way back then, had a sports for the workers.
Right.
But it graduated, and eventually they invited people from away, England,
right,
America.
So we have international participants as well.
They started having foreigners at the games.
Right.
And then the games end up like in the Caribbean, or the main events for sports in the Caribbean.
Right.
All the main cyclists, athletes in those years ride at Southern Games. Southern Games was the mecca for sports. Southern Games was 5 days. Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, and then Saturday and Sunday again.
Right, yeah.
To get a ticket to Southern Games, you have to line up 3 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, to get a ticket to Southern Games.
Could only imagine.
Southern Games is where, you hear about Roger Gibbon,
right,
and Leslie King, and all these great guys at Southern Games. That's the days of Southern Games.
And how long have you personally been involved with Southern Games?
I started Southern Games in 1969, I rode at the junior and Southern Games. And by the last Southern Games, which was in 1978, I rode for Trinidad.
You rode for Games, right?
Yes.
And what was the outcome of that?
Well, I did well.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah,
and I've been involved in Southern Games. To us, the former athletes, Southern Games was it.
Right.
You know, that was our part of our life. You know,
Definitely.
Yes, and I was... It happens that way that I end up in 1990 when the games already stopped in 1978.
It stopped?
Yes, it you know, the problems, you know, the oil fields and the economy and stuff. And in 1990, they had Trintoc, was the other company.
Right.
They had a game called Trintoc Games. And they cancelled the games. And they said, anybody interested in having a game, you know, Southern Games again was always in my mind.
Right.
And I approached them and we started Southern Games. We had it in 1990. It went in 1992 and stopped.
And I want to include Mr. Jimmins Clark here as well. Jimkins Clark, sorry.
That's
right. So what is your involvement with the games at this point?
Well, at this point, I'm the chairman of the organizing committee. As Tony was saying, I just want to add a little thing that when Tony decided to bring back Southern Games, he consulted me.
Right.
And I decided, well, let's have a go at it. Okay, and this is where we are at this point.
So were you involved in it in the old days of Southern Games as well?
Well, in the old days, as he mentioned, I was an athlete.
Right.
And when he decided to approach the company to get the games, he also approached me to assist him.
Any chance that you competed against each other?
No, he was a cyclist, I was an athlete.
Right. Okay, you were a track and field athlete?
Yeah.
All right. And how was that back in the day for you? What, specifically, which events did you participate
in? I was more involved in the sprints.
Right.
The one and the two. One of my greatest competitors was Hazley.
Yeah?
Yeah. He will tell you that more about me at that time, you know.
Right.
Things happened and I had to stop competing while Hazley went away on scholarship and so forth,
right.
You know. And when I get back, I decide, well, look, let me do some administration work now, where I start to come and start to organize the same game I used to participate in.
Right, and you said you had so you had some personal challenges and not very different from the challenges of the overall games itself. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the challenges the games has faced over the years?
Well, again, as I said, in 1978 was the last major Southern Games. When I say Southern Games, where the Texaco pumped money,
right?
Foreign cyclists, athletes, you know, Olympic champions to participate in Southern Games. But with the games stopping in 78, and we brought back the games in 1990, it stopped again in 1992. And when the Mr. Pandey became Prime Minister, I went to him personally.
Right.
I said, Mr. Pandey, we won Southern Games. He said, I won Southern Games too. So this is the new era.
Right.
In 2000, year 2000, Southern Games we both.
Right. It
came back.
Has it run since then, 2000?
Yes, no, I want to thank the, I want to thank Lisol, I want to thank Trintoc, I want to thank Petrotrin. The people at Petrotrin were very nice. Mr. Cummins Young, Miss Friday. Right. You know, what happened, Petrotrin's down. But we don't talk about that. We want to thank.
Yeah, that's
thank them for gratitude, you know, and thank them for that, yeah. But what's happened now is that, you know, we cannot use the Caravan facilities. So we are having the games this year in Oven Park, sporting facilities in Saparia.
Right. So you have two venues this
and
year.
And then we have the athletics in the Emmanuel Johnson Stadium next day.
All right. So how do we get involved in the games? How do we get tickets? Where do we go to view the different types of events? And what
okay.
Jimkins.
Yeah, the track, and I had to really specific on this when I say track because Manu Ramjan Stadium don't have any facilities for field events. Okay. So it will be the first time we are putting on Southern Games without field events. You know, and I don't want the athletes to feel, well, you know, left out. But because of the situation which we felt we fall in, we had to operate in this manner. So the track event will be held on the 7th of April at Manu Ramjan, and the cycling event will be held at the 6th in Oven Park in Siparia.
Oh, that's
right. Starting at 2 p.m. on both days, but on the track, we have heat starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. So the whole late track program will start in heats, and we go into the final, which will start at 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m. that day?
Yeah. And we get tickets, well, for the Manu Ramjan, we sell tickets at the gate. You know, before people, because people calling me, for tickets, because the Southern Games in the air.
Right.
But for the track, we have some tickets at Hawadi Hardware in Marabella. where you could get some ticket for the cycling events, and also down at Siparia.
All right, well, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for all you've shared with us this morning in regards to the Southern Games. With me this morning, Jimkins Clark, chairman of the Southern Games, and with me also Anthony Comisian, who is a Southern Games representative. And thank you for the chat this morning. Now go across to Rishi, who has to go across to assist Island of Tobago.
Well, not physically, although I would like to do it again. I will once, and hopefully they send me again. But it's time to go over to Tobago via Skype to talk about World Autism Awareness Day. And we are going to chat with Mr. David Yearwood, who is a retired Petrotrain employee. Hi, good morning. All right, so here what, we're going to take a break and come back with more. Stay with us.
Ranking Production, a new era in media. Our professional services include videography, cinematography, photography, aerial videography, and television production. We provide expert coverage of weddings, concerts, sporting events, graduations, corporate functions, music videos, ads, lectures, christenings, parties, and portraits. Contact us today. Ranking Production, capturing your memorable moments in life. Easter Sunday, get lost in the world of award-winning films. Green Days by the River, April 21st at 3 p.m. Be viewing TTT to experience the breathtaking film adaptation of Michael Anthony's beloved novel. Voted People's Choice for Best Narrative Feature at the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. Recipient of the Carmichael Award for Exceptional Storytelling at the Barbados Independent Film Festival. Green Days by the River proves that locally produced films will captivate you and transport you to other worlds. A tale of love, loss, and intrigue. Green Days by the River premieres April 21st only on TTT.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Now Morning Show. We are live on TTT Talk City 91.1 FM, also on Facebook and on YouTube. We certainly are live. We certainly are live. As a matter of fact, we saw you in all your elements just now. But you know that. I humbly apologize. I had a blooper moment.
Yeah, the moment.
I had one on Friday.
You did.
Apparently, I'm having one today as well.
Yeah.
But it's all in good fun.
Yeah, well, you know what? The viewers get to see a little bit of Richie behind the scenes, you know. When you get him a little upset.
Well, clearly I was not behind the scenes.
What's going on? What's going on?
And I was so excited talking about going back to Tobago because I understand Lisa is sending me back
again
to Tobago.
You had April. Such a fantastic time.
I did.
Oh, you maybe not.
I did.
Who says you're going in April? We're going in April. We don't know if you're going in April.
Who's me?
The show.
Oh, great. And I'm part of the show. So thank you very much, Lisa. So do you know about plant diagnosis?
No,
clinics?
No, not at all. So
yes,
we're going to find out
they're having a free plant diagnosis clinic. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to talk to Casey Marie. Good morning, Casey.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
And you're from the Division of Food Production, Forestry and Fisheries in Tobago?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me about this free plant diagnosis clinic. What is this plant diagnosis about?
Okay, so the Division of Food Production, Forestry and Fisheries, under their Plant Protection Department, we have a facility called Plant Clinic, or Plant Clinic Mondays, where every Monday we offer a free diagnostic facility at our office in Glen Road.
Right. But what does the diagnosis entail? What do you look for? How do you go about doing a diagnosis on a plant?
Well, let me explain. Essentially, a plant clinic is a meeting between a grower who may be a farmer or home gardener or any person who has a plant in their yard that may have a pest or disease issue. They would meet with a plant diagnostic officer, which might be myself or any other trained officer. And there they will bring the sample Once a sample shows signs or symptoms of insect feeding, disease symptoms, we diagnose the problem on spot and give them the appropriate treatment.
Oh, so how old does the plant have to be for you to do a diagnosis?
It doesn't matter.
So you could go.
It doesn't matter what age.
But what do you look for?
Well, if you're looking for spots, strange lesions on your leaves, symptoms like falling fruits, signs of insect damage, holes, trails, those types of things.
And you're a specialist officer, plant protection unit.
Yes, I'm the specialist officer, plant protection.
Yeah. So, what exactly does that entail? That job specification?
Okay, so I am the support service for the extension department, and also we serve the entire island of Tobago. And what we essentially do is diagnose all plant health problems and determine what is the best mode of management or treatment for those crops.
Why is this important though?
It's very important because it affects food security. Yes?
And we were talking about food security this morning and the importance of food security. So this plant diagnosis clinic, which is free, when is it taking place and what can people expect? How do people get involved in it if they want to?
Okay, so you come to the office between the hours of 9 to 12 every Monday. Every Monday, once it's not a public holiday, we are there to provide the service for you.
And what do people have to work with? Anything in particular?
You work with your sick plant samples.
But do you also go out into the field and do tests on plants if people have a complaint?
Of course, we have follow-up visits. Depending on the severity of the problem or the age of the crop, we determine if a follow-up visit is necessary, and we have follow-ups with extension staff and myself as well.
What type of diseases do you see on plants very often in Tobago?
Well, generally in Tobago, this particular time of year, we have more issues with scale insects, aphids, mites, that type of thing. We don't have much fungal issues because, of course, it's more dry. In the rainy season, however, we start to see more bacterial infections and fungal issues.
So how do you deal with these insects?
Well, there's a myriad of treatments, but however, at the division, we recommend an IPM management strategy. That is where the farmer utilizes cultural practices, biological measures where necessary, and we implement insecticidal use as a last resort.
Okay, why as a last resort? Why not just try that first?
Because, of course, you want to ensure that you go with the most natural means of production for health reasons.
And so people can come down to the office of the Division of Food Production, Forestry and Fisheries 9 to 12 and get more information,
Monday.
work with their plants?
Yes.
Do you have to make appointments?
Samples.
Or you can just walk in?
Yes, it's a walk-in facility.
All right. Thank you very much, Casey Marie, for joining us this morning, giving us that vital bit of information. It was an absolute pleasure having you all with us this morning. Lisa, again, we go back to food security and the need for food security.
Absolutely. You know, our food import bill is just too high, and we can actually grow our own food here. And, you know, when they talk about the diagnostic on plants, I immediately think of the mealybug. There was a time when there was a big, you know, sensation around the mealybug and understanding the damage it can do.
Most recently, we had the locust infestation in areas like Cedrus and those areas.
Yeah. So. Well, I want to say good morning to our Facebook followers. We haven't been able to check in with them so far. And I want to say good morning to Elizabeth Storvik, who is actually looking at us from Bergen, as well as, of course, Fayola Rudder. Good morning to you. Keisha Wilson, Judy Saunders, Mark Flex, Francis, as well as Michael Christopher, Son L, Leslie and Marcel. I'm seeing some familiar names and some new names as well. Natalie Boatswain, Sharon Amos. Good morning to all of you. Vonnet Bigford, Richard Murrell. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I see I'm scrolling. But right now, I'm very excited for my next interview. I'm chatting with the festival director of the NGC Bocas Children's Lit Fest, Danielle Dillon. Good morning.
Good morning, and thanks for having us on.
And also Kimberly D'Souza, you are the program coordinator of the NGC Children's Focus Lit Fest. Good morning and welcome.
Thanks so much for having us.
And the reason I am so excited, Danielle, is that, literature is so important. Yeah. I know Marina Solani Brown works really hard with the Focus Lit Fest. And from the name, it seems as though this is especially for children.
Well, that's part of the big festival.
Yes.
We are because when Marina first thought of the concept of creating a forum for international writers and so on, and local writers who with Caribbean roots, she also conceived the idea of having a children's festival.
Right.
And we've taken it from there. I brought you a book to look at, our very first book.
Is this written by a child?
Yeah, the stories written by children.
So these are stories written by children?
Yes, the way shall I tell you the way we do it quickly?
Yes, please.
Well, what we do, we work with a team of brilliant storytellers who travel around the country. We have a map in the back. This year we did 11, last year we did 11 venues. We always traditionally begin in Tobago. And what happens is, after the children hear a story, we then split the group according to age, up to 8 years old, 8 and under, and we give one title, and then we have 9 to 12.
Yes.
And what happens is you get entirely different stories from one title, and we edit it. We've gone, Kimberly has the coloring book.
So you have a coloring book as well for the children?
So they can read and they can color as well.
Wow, and this was designed by a child as well?
No. We designed it, Clary Salandi, an award-winning illustrator does it.
So what's been the response by the children so far with regard to being part of the Children's Focus Lit Fest?
Well, the way I see it is we have a growing fan club. We have every year we have different people, and what we've implemented now is a sort of graduation, because we do so many events in Nallis, at Nallis, and at Nallis the children's library stops at 12, although we do allow up to 13, so that we would then we hand them on to the next level of Nallis, yes.
And Kimberly, what sort of, as the program coordinator, what sort of programs are in place during the festival for children?
So first of all, the festival, it has 4 components. So we have the storytelling caravan. I think that's what Daniel was telling you about, where we have the storyteller. They go around to different districts. And then we also have the children who actually create their own stories. And this is the end result. And
so every year you get one of these?
Every year we get one of these. And the children also get a copy. So when we begin, because we're actually beginning this Saturday, we're actually carrying a stack with us. And the students who were there before, they're actually going to get their copies.
And how many stories you said are in here again?
Well, we have
it
on
depends,
average, yes, but on average, let us say we have 11 venues, then technically we should have 22 stories.
Right, because we split the groups. But depending on the age, we may decide to keep them as one.
This is wonderful. And how many years this the children's aspect of the Focus Lit Fest has been going on?
Since the 11th.
This says 2011.
Yes, from its inception.
From its inception. So we're in our 9th year right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really exciting. And so the second component we have a big event called Imagine New Worlds, which is at City Hall. This year we really want to focus on Tobago, because our overarching theme is together we aspire, together we achieve. And so we really, really want even Trinidadians, or even Trinidad, the younger generation, to have that awareness about Tobago. Do they know what a Tobago wedding is? Do they know what the jig is? You know what I mean? So we really, really want to create that awareness with them.
And is the festival going across to Tobago?
That is our first stop on Saturday. We always begin in Scarborough. So our very first stop is in Scarborough. Daniel's team is going across to Scarborough on Saturday.
But then we have Couva and Chaguanas happening as well.
So we also have it as well. But I know we always start in Scarborough.
And it's spread all throughout. I think there's a map in here. So it's all over. I see in Port of Spain, Chaguanas, Arima, Sandy Grande, Mayaro, Princestown, Point Forte, San Fernando, and of course Scarborough, Tobago.
And now we've added Cedras.
Right.
And Mount Lambert.
I love to, Mount Lambert will be the first time.
I'm going to be in Cedras this weekend.
Well,
Cedras, look out for me. I'm coming.
If you're in Central, you can stop by the library, because we'll be in Couva from 9 to 12, and we'll also be in Chaguanas.
And this is open to children from across the country. Do they have to pre-register or just turn up?
Yes, pre-registration is necessary. So we do contact the children who were there the year before, because we want to be able to present. It's very important that we give them the book, because what we did with when we turned it into a coloring book, we show you, we've got all the names of the children. So they've got so
they have to get a copy of that?
Yes.
Yeah. This is wonderful.
They formed impromptu book clubs, they share it, and because in our research, what we discovered is that children who color books are very interested in the story, and they live it more.
And a lot of children watch this show on mornings, so they might be saying, "Mommy, I want to be part of it."
Can I get the numbers? Of
course.
Please, yes. So if they want to, I will be the person answering the phone. They can call 71 BOCAS, which is 712-6227. You can also go to our website, which is bocaslitfest.com. Mommies, if you're listening, bocaslitfest.com. And you can scroll across to the children's tab, and when you scroll down to that tab, you will see the festival guide. You will also see all the events for our storytelling caravan and our upcoming events at Nallis.
So the most important thing is that they have to call 712-6227 or go online, bocaslitfest.com. Because if you want to be part of it, you have to pre-register. You can't just turn up, as some people might want to do. But you have to pre-register. And I know some of your children, especially, we have a lot of young, like 9 years. That's the age you're looking at. 9 years.
Actually, our group is from 5 to 12.
So our audience, some of our morning audience is in that group. So you want to necessarily call 712-6227. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming on the program this morning, Danielle Delon. Yes, and your festival director, the NGC BOCAS Children's Lit Fest, and Kimberly D'Souza, program coordinator. Okay, we're going to take in a few messages. We still have a little bit more to go before 8 o'clock, so come back with us after this.
Maximize your impact when you advertise on TTT Live Online. With TTT Live Online, your brand can be seen by viewers in TNT and all around the world via our social media pages. Our audience is growing every day. TTT Live Online has reached over 260,000 followers across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can bet they're watching. Our statistics show the live stream of the Now Morning Show reaches tens of thousands of viewers each day. Our news and entertainment pieces draw hundreds of thousands of views across all platforms. And you have an opportunity to be integrated into or featured alongside all this amazing content. Are you ready to maximize impact? Contact our sales team now. Call 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
Reach further when you advertise with TTT. Suite 100, Next 99.1, and it Talk City 91.1 FM. Whether it's television, radio, or social media, our stations belong to the only broadcast network with 100% coverage across Trinidad and Tobago. That's a fact. From Port of Spain to Point Fortin, Crown Point to Charlottesville, every household in TNT can easily access our signal. TTT remains the only broadcaster with live capability from multiple locations in the country, making us the most dependable source of information for events of national importance. Find us on any smart device at TTT Live Online. Are you ready to reach further with your advertising? Contact our sales team now. Call us at 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
That's Deena Julian there playing the violin, and she's on set with me this morning. Good morning, Deena.
Morning.
Good to have you on the program this morning.
Yes.
And with you is your mommy, Penelope Julian.
Hi.
Good morning. Who was whispering to me that she's multi-talented. Tell me.
Deena is absolute pitch perfect.
Mm-hmm.
She has been playing since before she could walk.
Mm-hmm.
She walked at 7 months. She never crept or anything like that. She just got up and she just started walking. But since before she was a year, she's been playing the little drums, the little milk tins.
Yes.
Back then she played the little milk tins, and she has been playing keyboards since 1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she has been diagnosed as being autistic.
Yeah.
When did you realize that she was autistic?
I did not know my daughter was autistic. What happened is that she was going to school. Well, my daughter is 35.
Right.
And back then, the school system, she went through the school system from kindergarten straight to secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to be away from children or whatever, but I never knew until when she was going to primary school, a psychologist came in and the principal suggested to me, Penny, why you don't go to talk to him? Because at that point in time, I was under severe depression.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dealing with a situation where people were saying nasty things about me.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to a point where somebody said that I had AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really bothering me. And I went into severe depression. And I went to see, his name was Dr. Eric Drew. And I took my daughter. And that's when he said, she's mildly autistic. And I'm like,
did you know what that meant at the time?
No, ma'am. Even up to now, I still don't understand autism. I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a parent,
Mm-hmm.
And I started researching. And I remember there was an article I saw in the Guardian newspaper about a guy called Glendon Crepin, who's Asperger's like my daughter. And what I did is that they had a number attached, which was at the Mount Hope Hospital. They had a number attached. I called that number numerous times and nobody ever answered until one day they did. And the person was very disrespectful to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, look, listen, this is my daughter. And I started treating my daughter like a normal child.
And so you've had a number of challenges raising her to age 35, Deena?
Yeah.
Yeah? What has the journey been like for you?
She wanted to know what you've been through.
Yeah.
You'll have to break down question for her.
What has it been like for you? You play a number of instruments, yes? And you've been through the school system.
Yes.
What was it like?
Tell her you were bullied in school. I was bullied in school.
Mm-hmm. How?
It's kind of a long story, but I can't say it.
Mm.
Okay.
How do you feel now? What do you feel now today? Are you happy? Do you feel stronger?
I'm just good.
You feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were you looking at the show? You were looking at the show. You saw Rowan playing the trombone earlier.
I saw it.
Yeah. How did that make you feel?
Well, I'm still proud of him.
Yeah.
That I know since 2 years, I think. Yeah, we met him 2 years
ago. Oh, you knew him?
Yeah, we met him 2 years ago at the
Yeah.
President's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a speech and Deena played keyboards at President's house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What would you like the world to know about you? What would you want to tell everyone about you?
What would you like to do? Tell them what you like to do. As you know, I make bracelets a lot.
Yes.
So these in my hand.
You made these?
Mm-hmm.
Nice, yes.
And I don't know. And as you know, God has blessed me with this talent.
Yeah.
And I've been writing dialogues for years.
Yeah.
And this year I have working on 15 now.
15 dialogues.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. So you play music.
Yeah.
You make the bands.
Mm-hmm.
You write.
And I also play in a called Faith Assembly, but I also play in the bilingual service.
Right.
Keyboards. Yes.
Nice.
And I also play in Luces de Mundo when they came last year.
Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes. So, it's so good to have you on the show this morning.
Thanks.
Yeah. And Mom, in terms of, is Deena your only daughter?
Yeah, she is.
She is.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I became a parent at 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was told I was pregnant, I was a Providence girl, yes, convent girl now.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that when we went to the doctor and the doctor told my mom I was pregnant, he told my mom for me to abort.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I'm grateful for is my mom, because she was a single parent. She says, she was my support. And what I'm grateful for was for my mom and also for our faith in God.
Yes.
Where I decided not to abort.
Yeah.
And my message to anybody who's listening right now, any mother, don't abort. You never know what child you can be carrying. You can be carrying a genius. You can be carrying a future president, a future prime minister, a future musician.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I had aborted,
Deena wouldn't be with us
Deena wouldn't be here. And I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
My daughter, through my daughter's prayers, I am where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one who prayed for me. And through her prayers, I am saved and I'm baptized.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
a wonderful note for us to wrap it up on. And we enjoyed your violin at the top of the interview.
She wanted to.
And one thing I want to say to all of you.
Yes.
For those, all I can say is put God first and don't give up on your dreams.
Thank you so much, Deena.
Thank
you so much.
I have a gift.
You do?
For you. As you know, I made bracelets.
Yes.
So I have this one.
Oh, thank you so much.
And she has to carry. And
Carrie, come and get yours. Rishi, come get yours. This is wonderful. Thank you so much, Deena and Penelope Julian, for coming on.
For you.
I'm going to keep
And
mine.
Rishi says you're in blue.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We're going to take in a few messages and come right back here with our moments on the show. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Maximize your impact when you advertise on TTT Live Online. With TTT Live Online, your brand can be seen by viewers in TNT and all around the world via our social media pages. Our audience is growing every day. TTT Live Online has reached over 260,000 followers across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can bet they're watching. Our statistics show the live stream of the Now Morning Show reaches tens of thousands of viewers each day. Our news and entertainment pieces draw hundreds of thousands of views across all platforms. And you have an opportunity to be integrated into or featured alongside all this amazing content. Are you ready to maximize impact? Contact our sales team now. Call 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
Bum beating bum 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 bum. I don't know how this thing get inside me, but every morning he driving me crazy, like he taking me head for a panyard, morning and evening, like this fella gone mad. Pim pum. And if I don't want to sing, when he start to do eating, I don't want to, but I have to sing. Pim pum. And if I don't want to dance, he does have me in a trance. I don't want to, but I have to dance. Hey, pum pum, beating pum. Pum pum pum, beating pum. Pum pum pum, beating.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bum, 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 bum. David Yearwood, mentor, and Mr. Neptune here is our drummer. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Morning.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So tell us what's happening here and why the drum is important.
Right. Akim is autistic. He has been diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Just a mild part, we think, of the spectrum. But what is happening is that we're becoming more and more aware that these children of ours, these people that we mentor, they teach us so much that we never knew. He has a talent. He loves the drum. No steel band side could pass, and he doesn't know the song.
The song, right.
The tune, right? You get his drum, and no matter what the rhythm is, he picks it up. In spite of the fact that he cannot communicate with us with words, his actions say so much to us.
Well, his face, he was so pleased just now playing the drum.
Yes.
And we saw it.
It happens with nearly every student that is a part of the institute that we belong to.
And the name of the institute is?
Well, we originally were called the Therapeutic and Life Skills Center, Point Fortin. We've changed that now to the Life Skills Center.
Okay.
Simply because we don't have therapists.
Yeah.
And we have so much wrong with the environment in which we try to teach and try to pass life skills forward. One of the problems is that the place we have is too small.
Right. So you're looking for support.
Yes.
And how many persons do you take care of in the institute?
Well, there are 30 people registered.
Right.
But on a day-to-day basis, I would say we have about 18 to 25.
Right. And you provide support to people like Akim.
Yeah. But we provide support in an apartment, which is downstairs a building, with one toilet.
Well, we trust that those who are in a position to assist will assist you after hearing this on the show. But I understand you have a monologue for us?
Yes, I do.
All right. So you want to take us out with the monologue?
Certainly.
All right. So remember that make a difference today now, just like David Yearwood is doing, and Akim Neptune on the drum. Take it away.
Thank you very much. So we're blind. And blindness is so bad, but you can't call me blind. What is blind? If I was old, you would say I'm old, and you could pick that up, because old people does move old. But I ain't blind in the sense that I can't see. I'm differently able. I am visually impaired. So don't say, look the blind man, and you laugh at the blind man. No. Hey, a blind man have a legitimate reason to see. What is your excuse? When we step on the bus and we see people moving their hands up and down, you know they're talking, but they can't hear with their ears, but they can hear with their hands and their eyes. When you see a man with a dark eyes and a white cane in his hand, you laugh at him. You wait for him to get bounced on the road. You want him to get out of the way because he's in your way as another person. But I tell you, the blind are citizens. The visually impaired are citizens, just like all of the other citizens who can't communicate the same way like everybody else. Hey, everybody have purpose. Everybody have purpose in this place. So the little boy tell his father, well, look, I resemble you. I resemble my mother. I resemble none of my family. I resemble nobody you could tell me is my family. How come I is your son? The father had to tell to him, child, you have to see. You can't be blind. If oil workers did see and all know, so we still name Petrotrin. You cannot behave as though you can't see. And he said to him, remember, in one place,
a carpenter, raised a king, and that fellow became the savior of the whole world. Your purpose is not...
Receive a free Kindle Fire 7 HD with Alexa features when you purchase the highly effective JJ and Friends SEA Tab Suite. Designed for students in standards 3 to 5, the SEA Tab provides interactive learning for success, digital tools for a digital generation, and has over 50 bonus apps that relate to the Ministry of Education's SEA syllabus. The SEA Suite comes with a free Amazon Kindle Fire 7 tablet with JJ and Friends video lessons on mathematics, creative writing, comprehension and language arts, along with workbooks, charts and checklists designed to successfully prepare your child for the SEA exam.
When they